Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Andrew Kavanaugh. I want to say thank you so much for coming back to Kavanaugh's Corner. Today on the channel, we're going to be reviewing a new 4K release from the Criterion collection, and this just came out this week of me doing the video on April 2nd. And this film I saw many years ago. It's got to be over 20 years ago now. I think I saw it on IFC, and I think I saw it when I was midway through college. And this movie just blew me away. This movie was so hard-hitting that I have not revisited it until now. And this is a really fantastic film. As I mentioned, it's brutal at times, but I think the message that it carries, the point of the film, is really a noble one. And it's really to point out racial injustice and just really the situations that were happening in France during the time period of the film when it was made back in 1995. And, still some of the things that happen over there today. It deals with the impact of American culture on, the people of France, how, racial injustice really, led to a lot of riots and violence during that time period. It's a pretty pretty tough film, but it's so impactful. It stays with you. It stayed with me for over 20 years, and that is La Haine. And La Haine, or Hate in English. It's a film by Mathieu Kassovitz, and Mathieu here really makes an indelible mark as a director. This film is impeccably directed. The acting in this is some of the best acting I have ever seen in a motion picture. There are times when it doesn't even really seem like acting. It seems like you're just watching three real people go about their lives in the ghettos of France. Even though the characters kind of aimlessly go about their day in this film, it's all for a point. And La Haine is just, the editing of this film is incredible. The cuts, the way that certain shots were done. There's a shot in the film where Vincent Cassel is looking at himself in a mirror, and the way they did that is just impressive. That it's not actually a mirror there, it's actually a secondary actor standing in front of a false wall, and the camera goes over him into this other room. It's impressive. It's so thoroughly impressive. And this is an all-new 4K transfer from Criterion, and it was approved by the director and also supervised by director of photography Pierre M. Today we're going to be talking about the picture quality, the audio quality, the special features, and really whether or not this gets my recommendation to purchase here. It is spine number 381. So this has actually been on the Criterion collection for a while on Blu-ray. But now we have this all-new transfer here, but they kept the spine number from its original release, because they're way past that now at this point. But it is a 2-disc set. I'm going to show you here that there is the 4K and the standard Blu-ray, and it also comes with a really nice booklet with a few different articles and some artwork on the inside from the film. Picture quality on this bad boy, we're going to kind of jump right in here. The picture quality on La Haine is nothing short of spectacular. I was blown away by how beautiful the black and white photography looked on this 4K. There has been quite a few 4K transfers of black and white films that I thought to be impressive. Casablanca being one big one. Another one being the Maltese Falcon. I thought Citizen Kane was fairly impressive. I know it had some issues here and there, but I like the transfer of that Criterion did a while back. There's been some real good ones, but I think this one may be the best. It may be the best that I've seen. I almost forgot Raging Bull. That's another one that may be tied for first place, honestly, or close second. That's a phenomenal transfer as well. But La Haine is, again, it's a newer film. It's 1995, this came out. So it's a newer film. It was also shot in color and was transferred to black and white. So this movie was not shot on black and white film, it was shot on color film. But the transfer now, again, approved by the director, supervised by the director of photography, is really mind-blowingly beautiful to look at. And the one big thing that I always mention whenever I talk about a black and white film on 4K with Dolby Vision and all these things is that there is way more to a black and white film than just the colors black and white. There are various shades of gray, different shades of white. Brightness plays a big part in black and white. If you've seen Oppenheimer in 4K, those black and white sequences are really stunning to look at. And this is, again, unbelievably great looking. The film grain is pretty much intact. It has been minimized, but it is present throughout the film. Now, the beginning of La Haine is basically real life, it's real footage from some riots that took place around the time of this movie being shot. And that footage is actually kind of scary. Some of it is really, really shocking. But that's videotape footage. And the introduction where you're seeing the credits and that footage is playing, that footage, again, is not really meant to look like the rest of the film. It looks like news footage. It looks like something that was shot on a VCR camcorder. That's because it probably was. That really is the one thing about the movie that I'll say is it's not going to look good. You can push that footage up to 4K, and it's still going to look like VCR footage. It's meant to look like that. So if anybody sees that and says, I don't like the look of that, that's the design of that. It's built to be that way. It's never meant to be looking like the rest of the film. That's purposefully that way. That's the source that came from. So it's never going to look as good as the rest of the film that was shot with actual movie cameras. Different varying shades of darkness in the film is probably the most impressive thing. Daylight scenes now look so much more vibrant and lifelike. The lighting of those scenes, some of it is very harsh. And again, the movie is harsh. It's some harsh stuff happening in this film. But the look of it is like this movie has a beautifully harsh look to it, and that is so prevalent throughout those daylight scenes. You can't help but feel like you have nowhere to hide, and the characters don't either. Really, they have to kind of escape into darkness, really, and inside these alleyways and abandoned buildings and things. And when the dark scenes happen, the black levels on this disc really shine, and no pun intended, they really do shine. The Dolby Vision on this disc really does a number with helping with black levels. Black levels are pitch perfect on this disc. There is one nighttime scene where the friends are walking around the streets of Paris, and that some of those shots in that sequence, I cannot recall them ever looking better than they have on this new disc from Criterion. It is truly amazing how shadow detail can be so perfectly refined now with this new technology. It's completely mind blowing. It's a very, very impressive transfer in every meaning of the word. It is incredible. So on picture quality, I'd say it's a 10 out of 10. It's a knockout. I absolutely loved it. Now, as for audio quality on this does have a 2.0 DTS HD master audio as well as a 5.1. Now, the 2.0 is pretty much the original theatrical audio, and that stereo track is what I listened to the film on. I did not watch it with the 5.1. I have heard that the 5.1 is a very good audio track, but in this case, I decided to use the original stereo track for my review here, and that sounded incredible. Dialogue was crystal clear. Uh, all the music and everything, and there is a lot of really impressive music in this film, were the music sounded fantastic. Everything was perfectly placed, and even though it's only the left and right channel speakers being used, I mean, everything is balanced completely perfectly. I never had any issues with the dialogue. And again, this is a movie where, the language that's spoken is completely French. It is a French film, if the title couldn't give it away. But nothing really bothered me with that. And, subtitles and everything, that was fine in terms of translation. It's a very refined translation now. And yeah, I had no issues whatsoever with the audio. That DTS stereo track is fantastic. And I'm sure the surround sound one is really good too. But yeah, no issues with that. I thought that was a very, very, very good audio track. Now, as for the special features, all the special features, with the exception of the audio commentary by the director, that's on the 4K. All the rest of the special features are on the secondary Blu-ray here. And one in particular is kind of an introduction to the film by Jodie Foster, who is a big, big promoter of this film when it came out in '95, and is really kind of one of the people responsible for the success of this film and why it actually gained so much notoriety in the United States. So that is a really great little, I think it's like 15 minutes long. That's a great little thing. I love the way that Jodie Foster speaks about the film. She really does love this film, and knows the director and some of the actors. Really just gives a great little rundown of the film. I don't know if I would call it much of an introduction. It actually kind of works better after you've seen the film. But either way, whether you watch it before or after, it's a fantastic special feature that I'm glad they carried over to here. There is also a full-length documentary that is called 10 Years of La Haine, and that is a look back at the making of the film, the impact of the film, and that has interviews with all the cast, the people that worked on the film, the crew. Really impressive stuff. That's a great, great documentary that they included on here. It's almost a film unto itself. So that's a great companion piece to the film. There is a featurette. It's on the setting of the poor sections of Paris that the movie takes place in. That featurette, very, very eye-opening. I have never been to France myself, but I could see, how this film looks into the life of people that live or have lived in that area of the country, and I could see how it would be such an eye-opening thing for people to see, especially if they had lived in that country at that time and not known about some of the situations that were happening in that part of the country. There's a little featurette of production footage of the making of the film. There's also some deleted and extended scenes with little afterwards by the director, which is really cool to see. Behind the scenes photos, there's a couple trailers for the film as well. There's some behind the scenes photo galleries in here, and there's also a couple different trailers for the film as well. So In the end, what did I think of this new 4K release of La Haine? I would say that this is a masterful release from the Criterion Collection. It gets my highest marks, honestly. This is not a film that's for the faint of heart. Like I said, it is a pretty tough watch at times. It's a very important film. And if you haven't seen La Haine, I would say, proceed with caution, know what you're getting into, but just know that you're watching really a masterpiece, and I love it. I think it's awesome. This transfer was basically perfect. Like I said, it is one of, if not the best black and white film on 4K, and that's really saying something. This is really a knockout. The audio track on here, they're awesome. Special features are great, and there's quite a lot of them. And yeah, this gets my highest marks, honestly. So if you want to pick up La Haine on 4K on Criterion here, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you use that link on Amazon, I do get a little bit of a kickback here on the channel. It's not a whole heck of a lot, but anything helps. You can also hit that super thanks button and donate directly to the channel so I can keep bringing reviews like this to you. I don't make a lot of money here on YouTube. It's not a money-making thing for me. I really do this because I enjoy talking about films. I enjoy making recommendations to people, especially those who love physical media, as I do. This is really a passion for me. I've been doing it for quite a long time, so I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. That is really the best thing you can do. I love you all. Thank you all for subscribing and liking. These past couple weeks have really been amazing. I can't thank you enough for sharing these videos as well. That's another big thing that I've been seeing people do, and it's just awesome to see my videos pop up here and there on different things. So really, really appreciate it. I love you guys. I wish you all the best. Please stay safe and take it easy.